Hey everybody, it's record time with Chris, episode 9. And as you can see here, we're not going to be doing any record store day stuff today because I have something really cool to show you and a couple things that I'm excited about I want to tell you about. So let's jump right into it. This here is the new Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds box set. Now before I open it up, I should just mention it's coming on May 5th. It's got stuff from 1984 to 2014. There are multiple different versions of this that are going to be available. There's a 3-record set, there is a 2 CD set, and the songs on those are identical. There is a 3 CD set, obviously with more music, and the 3 CD set also adds an hour-long Region Zero DVD. This has the 3 CDs, the DVD, and an enormous book. I mean, you can feel it's quite heavy, and well, I guess you can't feel it. I can feel it. You could hear it, and we'll open this up. Okay, so it for stores anyway. I don't know if people are going to get it this way, but this is how stores are going to get it. Nice thick cardboard box to protect whatever's inside. And check this out, the barcode's on the outside, so that suggests to me that you won't have a barcode on the actual book. And I'm cheating here. The book comes in this shrink wrap. I removed that because it took me about a minute to get it off before. So it's in this nice case. I don't know if you can hear this. It's textured. I'm going to set that over there. Now, let's get a look at this. So you see there are these icons. We'll see those pictures later. This is probably just stuck on. You might be able to remove that if you want to. Now, what we have, so here's the enormous book. Got to weigh at least a pound, and this is actually a folder that has all the discs in it. So since I'm holding it, I'll open that first. You can see here we've got the same icons that are on the outer package, and it just unfolds to show the discs. And way over here on the right hand side, this looks like it got folded a bit, is something that looks to me, it's a track listing and looks like liner notes also. And you're especially going to want that because the DVD has all kinds of, has some live stuff, some interviews. It's nice to know where they all came from. This tells you who played on everything, which is important because as we know, the lineup did change over time. And what else do we have? I just want, as you can see, it looks like it was printed on like an 80s dot matrix printer, and it's on thin photocopy paper, like, the kind of thing, almost makes it feel like something would have been handed out at punk shows when, before I was going to them. Anyway, that's awesome. And here is the book. Like, the book has the same textured cover as the case. Nice marbled end papers, and so there's a little nice epigram here, and as you can see from the table of contents, or maybe you can't see, there are 10 essays plus an afterword by the man himself. So nice paper, and you can see I don't know if you can see in there, but it's a stitched binding. It's not glued, so that's you can see up there as well. So that's important. This will stand up to quite a lot of reading without feeling like you're messing it up. So we've got essays that are there are photos of the band, just lots of photos interspersed, and there's just a lot of these cool little things just tucked in here and there. This looks like is it a ticket? No, it's like an ad for one of their shows. We also, who's the special guest? Folk Devils. plus special guest. I don't know who the Folk Devils were. So, yeah, lots of cool stuff. So there's a lot of just other things tucked in here. Oh, backstage pass. Oh, it's actually on a sticker. Although, you know, get in your time machine to go back to 2004, and maybe you can get backstage. Lots of there are other things in here. Oh, this is cool. You can see here. I don't want to spoil all the surprises, but see, here's a pretend. It's actually like a photo. It's on photo paper of Deanna and then here we have the lyrics to the song, and we've got. You can see just notes and things about how the arrangement was going to go. So this is a great set. Like I said, it's coming out May 5th. I just knocked the phone off the hook. Hold on here. It's coming out May 5th. Jesus. I'm a mess. Okay. It's coming out May 5th, so you still have time to pre-order it. I would recommend, definitely, because it's, we're all set with that. I would absolutely recommend that you, give your store a heads up if you definitely want to have it on street date. I would just give them a heads up, or if they have a special order process, you might want to do that just to make sure that you get it. So, it seemed like a couple episodes back when I gave some things away, people thought that was pretty fun, so I'm going to give away something now, and there'll be more later. So if you want this thing, just put down in the comments that you want it, and I'll pick somebody on Monday. This mug, it says Eat at Whitey's, and this has been in my office for quite some time. It was made for, remember Everlast? His big song was Whitey Ford Sings the Blues. His second album might have been called Eat at Whitey's, I don't remember exactly, but they did give us this mug to remind us of Whitey Ford, who I think was maybe Everlast's alter ego or something like that. So if you want that mug, comment there. I'll pick somebody Monday and get in touch with you to figure out how to, get your address. And let's see, I want to show you something else. So something you can buy now, should you want to. In fact, if you live in England, this has been out in England since January or early February. It didn't make it out here in the US until March 31st, so it's pretty new. It's Eliza Carthy's new album. She's got it, as you can see from the cover. In fact, this is one of those records where I think it has a fantastic cover because the cover tells you a lot about what's inside. What music's inside. So the band is it's Eliza Carthy and the Wayward Band. I think that she's been with them they've been with her or whichever, for a few years. They've been with together for a few years. Big Machine is the title of the album, and that's from a lyric in, I think it's in the Fidders song. And that brings me to mention that you can see I've got this is the deluxe CD version. It's got a second CD in there. There are actually 8 songs on the second CD, so it's a great value. And there's a cool book. I'll show you some of that in a minute. There's a regular 1 CD version, and there's a 2-record vinyl edition. Neither of those have the bonus tracks. And what reminded me of that is there's a demo for the Fidders song on here. So let me just show. So I'm going to show you. There are a lot of really great pictures. Yeah, and as you can see, it's one of those things. This is one of those records where the disc is in pockets, so it's almost impossible to get it out without getting it on your fingers. So sometimes I just give up, and I've got a bunch of these old Case Logic Pro sleeves, and I'll just throw it in there and put it next to the book in my drawers, where this is going to end up next to. I don't know. I don't know if I have every one of her albums, but most of them. Nice big drawer full, and of course her a bunch of CDs by her dad. But anyway, let's go back here. So there are really nice photographs of the people inside here, and there's some kind of weird stuff on some of them, makeup and whatnot. probably maybe from this. And those would probably look pretty great in the record package. So I don't know how thick the book is in there, but that's pretty awesome. Here is the band on the back, looking much less scary than they do on the front. So let's talk about the cover for a second. So the first thing, you can see the band is enormous. Now, one of the fun things about being an Eliza Carthy fan is while all of her music is strongly rooted in the British folk tradition, with the exception of maybe one or two albums that were a little more pop oriented, but still really cool, what she's interested in seems to change every few years. And although it's all the same thread, she's one of those artists like Miles Davis or Frank Zappa who are constantly pushing and trying to find new ways of doing what. So there's that thread. There's a thread tying all of her stuff together. But like on this album, you can see she looks very strong on the cover. That's what I think. She looks strong. And she's also way out in front of the band and very much in charge. So she can do delicate, and she does some of that on the bonus disc. But for the most part, most of the songs are pretty serious, are strong. And I don't mean strong like that they're good all the way through or well written, but what I mean is they're strong, like kick-ass strong. It's probably the most rocking British folk album I've heard. There are those like Icelandic bands that are heavy metal bands that incorporate some folk elements from their culture that are of course heavier than this, but this is really intense. So the drums are heavy and loud on a lot of the tracks, and the band, as you can see, it's an enormous band. So in addition to Eliza, she actually plays fiddle less than she does in some of her other albums. Her emphasis seems to be here on songwriting, arranging, which would be a challenge considering how do you arrange, she's got trombones on here, well, one trombone, and her voice. Her voice is a big part of this. But there's a viola player, and it's a little hard for me to tell sometimes if it's the viola player or Eliza and the violin, because their ranges overlap a little bit. But their styles are different enough. Anyway, there's trumpet and trombone, so you've got a horn section, and the horn players obviously have some experience with free jazz because they're not afraid to go out into some kind of abstract areas. Maybe they've listened to some Sun Ra. We'll be talking about that in a couple minutes. So, and there's an accordion and guitar. Sometimes the electric guitar is pretty rocking, and other times it's further back, just creating a texture. And we have the accordion dominating as the primary chord instrument. So it's a really fascinating record. And I should just touch on her singing. The nice thing about some styles, and I think folk is one of them, is that people get better and better as they go. Jazz singers too. So if you think about her mother, Norma Waterson is probably one of the greatest living singers, or maybe greatest singers ever, living or dead. I mean, she's just amazing with what she can do with her voice. Is fantastic. I mean, I'd put her up there with Ella Fitzgerald or Caruso or anybody who you think is highly skilled and able to put stuff across. David Bowie, people like that. So anyway, Eliza has a lot of that just growing up, I guess, in the family, and you can tell that it seems to me like she's been putting a lot of effort lately, especially as she ages and her voice deepens, to really work on her singing. And not that it ever needed work, but she's a great vocalist, and it's nice that she's emphasizes this. Oh, and Teddy Thompson duets on a love song. It's mostly a love song. I think there's a little bit of other, a little bit of bite to it. Teddy Thompson sings with her on that, and there's some just great harmonies. So this is a it's a really interesting album, and I love it. It's you know, it's probably gonna be one of my top 2 or 3 records this year. I don't know, but it's fantastic. Now, speaking of March 31st, here's another giveaway, but it's a fake giveaway. So, because we're not going to be giving away in the video, we're going to be doing it through our email newsletter. So make sure you sign up for that before Monday so you get it. Also, March 31st, another person who comes from the folk tradition but has been doing interesting things with it, Timothy Seth Avett, as Darling. He goes by Darling when he's doing his solo stuff, but he's in the Avett Brothers, of course. But they're American, not English, so very different. But anyway, doing cool things with old music, and we have an autographed test pressing that we'll be giving away. Like I said, you're going to want to read the email on Monday to find out how you're going to do it. And if you don't win it, I do want to point out, you can see that the test pressing was made. Well, it's in a QRP sleeve. Oh, yes, the test pressing says quality record pressing. So what that means is the albums, probably all the copies of the albums were pressed by Quality, and they're not kidding, you know, when they have that name. Their quality control is very high, so you'll know it'll be, if you buy it, it'll be an exceptionally well pressed record, and it's only available on record, and there's no CD, there's no streaming from what I understand, free streaming, so if you want it, you have to pay for it somehow, which is nice. He's a great artist, deserves the money. So let's see. Moving on. The other release I want to talk about is actually out today, April 7th, and just like we had with the Nick Cave, the barcode is on the sleeve. It's on the outside plastic, and this is available on CD as well. I got the record just well, you know, because they sent me a record to show you, because we all know what a CD looks like. Here's the record, and as you can see, it is like a smoky gray clear with like streaks of black, so it gets a nice smoky look to it. But let's back up. What album is this? Well, it's Sun Ra and the orchestra. It's called Thunder of the Gods, and I'll tell you about that. But it's, as you can see from the cover, if you've been following what's been up with Sun Ra releases the last few years, Modern Harmonic has always made these really, really cool kind of retro futurist, you know, covers that look like they might be, you know, from a pulp 50s, you know, science fiction book or something, which I think suits the music perfectly. And everything on here is unreleased. It's all from the 60s, and something that's especially cool, the track Thunder of the Gods, before that was recorded, he handed all the members of his band stringed instruments, and most of them being horn players and percussionists wouldn't have known how to play a stringed instrument. So you would get, I mean, I guess Ronnie Boykins, I think he's playing bass on this. Yeah. So he knows how to play a stringed instrument, but I don't know what he plays viola on this, so maybe he wouldn't. Anyway, so what you get is a bunch of people who are following their leader in some unusual direction. You know, he had this idea of having people play instruments that they don't know how to play, and clearly he's trying to capture them off guard. So it's interesting to listen to it, because you get that, I mean, you couldn't play with Sun Ra unless you were an exceptional jazz musician. It wouldn't be possible. You have to be a great improviser, and you have to be great at hearing and fitting in with what everybody else is doing. And if you have some of their 60s recordings, you know that they can swing pretty damn hard when they feel like it, but they will go way out into outer space into, well, we shouldn't call it outer space. They will go into super free areas and then come back and fit together. Anyway, a fantastic band, and this is a great period in their career. But it's really interesting to hear that, and so yeah, definitely exciting thing to check out. This is available on CD, by the way. And now let's give away a couple more things. So if you want the, I got an Elbow CD, their new album, which is pretty cool. If you want this, just put down in the comments that you would like this, and I'll pick, I'll see how many people want it and pick somebody Monday to ship it to. This is nice. Oh, there's a pretty good sized booklet in there. I thought this was pretty cool, but I'm going to give it to you. And the other thing I have here are some balloons. These are actually the white blue, and they are American Express Shop Small balloons left over. They sent us this one kit, and since we had 12 stores for Black Friday, it wasn't like I could, you know, divide up 10 balloons. So anyway, we're going to get good use out of it. So if you want the pack of balloons, blue and white balloons, they do have the Shop Small logo on them, and there are some, I don't know if that's string or what have you, but that's what that is. And they do, oh, see, this is nice. There's a proper, look at this. You get a proper inflation guide. So if you're inflating these balloons, see that, that's not enough. Not enough helium. And here you can see that, whoa, too much. And this is the proper inflation. So, you know, if you remember your Plato, it's really, you're looking for the golden mean here on Shop Small Saturday. So, hey, I'll see you around. I'll be back in my next video. Where's my sheet? Here we go. Just to promise you, I'm going to take this off, and we will have more Record Store Day stuff for you in a couple days. And I just don't want to, we'll see. Oh, but just to tease you, I'll show you what I have. You want to know what I'm going to put in the next one? I'll show you, because it's pretty awesome. Where are they? Where are they? Okay, but here, so I've got, well, I'll just show you this one. I've got all the Sundazed releases. Here's one of the 7-inches by the Sloths. You know, and if you know, they're 7 inches that they release on Record Store Day, and a lot of the year long. It'll be some garagey kind of stuff that maybe you haven't heard of. I don't know who the hell the Sloths are, but you know it's going to be well chosen. And Modern Harmonic, who do this, but they've also got some pretty cool stuff. They're part of the Sundazed family, which is how you get well, which is why they were all in the same box. And if something else shows up between now and the time I do that video, it'll be in there. So if you're not already subscribed, please do. It's one of those things that, you know, I'm like, why did I spend a half an hour on Thursday afternoon doing stuff? Well, get a couple subscriptions, you know, some comments, it makes me feel good, and I don't feel too bad that I should have been, you know, whatever I could have been doing. That sounds kind of sad. Well, hey, we'll see if I'm lazy enough to leave this in or if I'll chop it off. But anyway, I hope you enjoy whatever you're listening to, and I'll see you in a couple days. But for now, so long. This is the super imaginative, awesome tagline that maybe I'll think of someday. Thanks.